Brie. Hey everyone. Okay, so in 2 minutes, or actually in 1 minute, Brie and I are gonna head over to Katherine Schwarzenegger's IG.
Yes.
We are gonna be doing an IG live with her. So make sure to tune in. For everyone that's tuning in now, I was just saying that in 1 minute, we are headed to Katherine Schwarzenegger's IG, and we're going to do a fun IG live with her. So everyone head there. We absolutely love her. She just had her new kids book come out. So we're going to talk about all mom stuff. So head over there. I think I actually might take my beanie off for that. Maybe look a little. There we go.
My hair's
It's
wet.
raining here. So yes, love you guys. Also, Brie, I just came over to Brie's house. We haven't even chatted about the episode, but thank you all for all your amazing comments and love and support last night for the show. You continue to make Nikki Bella Says I Do such not only an amazing success, but just amazing as far as the reviews and comments. So we always appreciate all that, and production does, and the network. So thank you. But I'm going to head over to Katherine's page right now. So come join us over at Katherine Schwarzenegger's page. Mwah. Okay, bye.
Happy Friday. Okay, today's Instagram Live is going to be a very fun one for a variety of different reasons. Of course, because we're talking about sisterhood. We're talking about Goodnight Sister, which my book comes out this coming Tuesday. So crazy, February 7th. So many of you have been so supportive and pre-ordered, and I'm so grateful. And we are going to be doing a bunch of different tour stops and events and really fun things. So if you are in any of those areas, please come and join us. They're going to be fun for the kids as well. We're going to be having such a fun little conversation today with Nikki and Brie. They are on a crazy schedule of their own PR, so I'm so grateful that they're even taking the time to chat with me. And we are going to, whenever they come on, someone alert me, because I'm bad at seeing when somebody comes on. But we're going to, oh, there she is. We're going to talk all about sisterhood. I mean, they're like the ultimate sisters and can talk about pretty much everything that... Hi,
Hello.
Hi. I'm going to check the volume. There we go.
Hi, girls.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I mean, I'm great. You guys are like such a crazy week for both of you.
I know.
Oh, yes.
It has been wild, which we're always grateful for. But yes, it's been a few weeks, right?
A few weeks.
Yeah.
And our next few weeks too.
I know. And then we go into Super Bowl week next week.
Yeah, next week, Super Bowl week. I know, it's a crazy time. I'm like, why am I choosing to release a children's book the Super Bowl week? But here we are.
I love it. I think that's perfect.
I do too. I actually think it's good because it's like a family-filled week, so it's perfect.
Yeah, I know. So hopefully and Valentine's Day coming up. I mean, you guys are just like really great. Just like go, go, go. I was just thinking today, though, the last time that you and all three of us were having a conversation was literally like right before I even started this BDA Baby series, because of the conversation that we had, because we were all like sitting at home and just like with either pregnant or with babies, or just like in that whole world, and it being so new that, now we're here a couple years later is wild.
It's so wild.
I can't believe
you
it.
both with 2, and it's like, and I think of our boys at 2.5. Time goes by so fast.
I know.
It really
I know.
does.
It's
we're
wild.
sitting here with 2 children. You're sitting here with like the most sexy relationship that I've ever seen. So we're just gonna sit and watch on the sidelines while we're like waking up with 2 children. It's fine.
Yeah,
We're all
right.
good.
That's why, like, Aaron keeps wanting another one, and I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I see Brie day to day. Your life changes when you have 2 babies.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. My daughter this morning over breakfast was like, Mommy, I just really would like you to have a little girl. And I was like, well, it's easier said than done. But I'm like, Mommy's only having 2. And she's like, well, will Dodo have a little girl for me? I'm like, well, you got to talk to Dodo about that.
There's a lot of pressure over here, Katherine, between Birdie and Artem, and yeah.
You gotta just go ahead and do it. It's gonna be It's going to be good. But I mean, like, talking about, you know, we've been doing all these conversations about sisterhood, all about, you know, because my book is all about sisterhood and, you know, just celebrating that relationship. And I thought it would be so perfect to be able to talk with you girls and just like everything about what you do obviously is together. It's sisters, and you guys have also been able to carve your own identity, which I want to be able to talk to you guys about. But when you guys were little, I mean, you guys did everything together because you're twins, of course, but also just like in life in general, and have kind of kept that, but seem to do it really, really well, where there's not like a ton of negativity or competition or jealousy. Like, you're very on the same page about all of that. How did you do that?
Gosh, you know, I think being a twin, ever since you're really young, we've always been compared, or everything we've done, people will like put us side by side and be like, well, you might be twins, but your nose looks a little like this and your eyes a little like this. And then it came to our athletic ability, to our artistic, everything in life we got compared to. So I think what Nicole and I did at a really young age is we started to rely on each other, because when you're picked apart like that, and people don't mean to do it, they just naturally do that to twins, it almost made our bond stronger, and it made us root for each other, because we were so used to hearing about our weaknesses or our strengths so much that I think all twins kind of have that really strong bond because of that.
Yeah. And I also feel like our mom was so adamant at a young age to have us in different classrooms and different teachers. And I feel like that also gave us that best friend bond too, that made us appreciate each other. Instead of just being siblings, it was like we could always see each other after class and like talk about the day. So I feel like that also gave us another type of relationship instead of just being twins.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there are so many people who talk about, especially like my sister and I, when we did a conversation earlier this week with my mom, we talked about, like, you know, Christina and I are a year and a half apart, but the importance of like having different schools, being in separate classes, having, you know, separate interests. And really, as a parent, and now that I'm like a parent, a mom to two girls, I'm like very aware of this. Like, how do you, you know, cultivate their relationship, be able to talk about the importance of being close and being sisters, and then not have the competitive nature come in or the jealousy come in. And even though people, I mean, I imagine as twins, like Christina and I talk about being compared all the time when we were little because we're 19 months apart, but you guys are compared still to this day, and it doesn't seem to be something that's like a negative part of your relationship.
Yeah, you know, it isn't. And I think the one thing, and I don't know if this was our parents or our grandparents who embedded this in us, but we've always been proud of each other for everything we do. We're each other's biggest cheerleader. We've never had jealousy. And I don't know why. We've never been those twins or sisters to do that, which has been amazing. But when Nicole gets something, I'm so proud of her. Like, literally, like, authentically proud of her. And she's the same with me. And, you know, I don't know why.
You know, and I wonder if that's just even the difference between identical twins and just sisters. Is we're just born with this bond, because majority of identical twins I meet, I've never met them being jealous with each other. If anything, they're so protective of each other. It's like, I can tell her off and be mad at her, but if anyone else does, I'm like, don't talk to my sister like that. And so I don't know if that's, you know, it's such a great question, because I'm like, maybe it's a twin thing, like an identical twin thing, where we just naturally are supportive, because there's never been jealousy with her. It's always been supportive.
Right. And one thing I do with my kids is I really recognize their strengths, and I let them know like what their strengths are and how. And I also am really big on letting them, like, aren't you so proud of yourself? You just completed this or did that. And I want them to always be proud of themselves. But I feel like it helps as a parent when your children are young for each child to recognize the strength of each sibling in the family. Because I'll say my son is super athletic. My daughter is not. But my daughter is literally so artistic, and she builds with these magnets. Like, I'm always like, you're going to be a little architect. Like, you know, and I always want them to be very proud in what their strengths. I feel like sometimes when parents have like kids that are similar in ages, they kind of throw them into the same things a lot.
Right.
And I think that starts the competitive gene between siblings, the jealousy, because you're doing all the same things.
Well, and I think you have a good point there. I feel like as we raise our children, if we're putting pressure on them to be something that we want them to be, I think that's what can grow a competitive nature between the siblings. It's like who's making mom and dad more proud, or who's doing what they want. And that's why I think as parents, we have to be so careful not to put that pressure on our children, instead embrace who they are. Because I feel like that's when it can get competitive between siblings, and where I've seen siblings not get along. It's like, who's in the family business? Who makes their mom the proudest, or their dad the proudest? And so we never had that, thank goodness. We were always embraced, which, I mean, if you would have told my family about professional wrestling, they'd have been like, you're crazy. And just let us go do our thing. And so, I think that's something that helps with that.
But when you guys were younger, was there ever a time in your relationship where you guys did not get along, or where you guys weren't on the same page about your bond?
I mean, we fought a lot.
We
That
did.
is for sure. But we were the types who like would fight and be okay 5 minutes later. Like my husband, when he first started dating me, he was like, I don't know how you guys do it, but you and I can't be that person, because I don't get over it.
I mean,
like
we
that.
would hit below the belt so bad, like
It was-
with our words.
We've had to work on that in therapy.
Yeah.
But we're finally at 39 years old. We don't do
we're
it.
I think we got good at like 35.
But I think a big thing for me that was hard when I was younger is I really always wanted to play music and be in theater and do all these things. But my parents saw my natural athletic ability and always pushed me to be in sports. And I would always voice my opinion. I didn't want to be. But, and I think sometimes what was hard is that I always had to like do what Nicole was doing. So, and it's not that it ever got me mad at her. It was more mad at my parents. But it was hard because it was like I wanted kind of my own identity too. And there was times where that would just like,
she's always been my sidekick.
there you go.
But I mean, you guys have really managed, which is like incredible as twins too. Like you guys, I mean, I remember, and as you guys know, like me, my mom, my sister, like we all used to watch you guys when we were younger, and like this sister dynamic when you guys first started on TV of like, you know, doing everything together. You guys were, you know, dating people, you guys were in your careers, you guys were like navigating life. This was before you guys had kids. Like it was, we watched a lot of it. And I always remember my mom being like, you see, like, look at them. Like they are, Christina and I have always been really close, but when we were compared all the time, it would be annoying to both of us. Like we would just be like, can you not compare us like all the time? Because we have different interests. We want to be doing different things. And we are each other's biggest cheerleaders. But it was honestly like helpful in a way for us to be able to watch two sisters, and you guys are twins, so there's different stuff there. But like to see you guys be such huge cheerleaders and advocates for each other and be really excited about different things for each other. And also still be able to, you know, get scrappy with one another, but then like, you know, move on from it. But creating your own identity, because I feel like that would be, as a twin, the hardest thing is like the identity aspect of how do you do that while doing everything together and looking so similar.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll tell you, Total Divas was such a huge blessing for Nikki and I, because up until Total Divas, our whole career was about being identical twins. Vince McMahon wanted us to talk the same time, do things same time, because it was the first time in WWE history identical twins debuted. So twin girls, they did have identical guys at one point. So when Total Divas came along, the first time ever got to showcase our individuality and like how different we were, and the world loved that more. And that was such a blessing to us, because it opened up this huge door where we're like, okay, see, we're twins, but we're so different. I mean, when you walk into each of our houses, you're like, oh my gosh, this is Nikki's house, this is Brie's house, and just how we are. And you look in our closets, like, but the one thing that her and I recognized at a young age is that our strengths complement each other. And with that, we were able to brand ourselves and just be great entrepreneurs. We always helped each other. And we look at each other and we're like, we're both successful because we understood, like, she's stronger. Like my sister, like her no filter is brilliant, like in business and being authentic, all these different things. She has no fear. And then She at times can get a little fiery, so I'm the one who brings it down, calm. Let's think about this.
Yeah.
And
She
so
always
like
has to calm me.
yeah, so but together it's crazy that it's made us so successful. Like we needed the yin and the yang in this relationship.
For sure.
If we both were like her or like me, if we both were like me, we'd be living in the woods and get nothing done. If we were both like her, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. But that's been a really great thing. And I suggest to any sisters like out there, who maybe struggle with like that competitiveness within each other, like to take a step back and to verbalize like these are your strengths, these are my strengths, like how proud are we of each other,
Right.
and kind of look and see how that works.
Well, yeah, totally. And I think we're so fortunate to grow up and be around a family business. So my grandfather, he and his brothers worked from South Street, Philadelphia, and some of the first farmers in Southern California. And he started an amazing produce company with two of his brothers, and it was the Colas brothers. And so we were raised seeing that, and then our uncles like continuing the business and being brothers. And we also saw my mom get burned by a few partners on companies she started. And I think that kind of made Brie and I feel as we got older, like blood's thicker than water, and like you could always trust your blood. Mm-hmm. And so when we were growing as entrepreneurs outside of the ring, we realized how much we loved being a tag team inside the ring and how much we'd love to take that outside of it, because we just had this trust with each other and we knew we could be honest. And I think as you're growing a business, it's so important to have someone be honest, but know that they have your back. Because
for sure,
sometimes people will give you advice and you're like, are they leading me in the right way? Or are they trying to take advantage of me? And we've been on that side too. And so with Brie, I know everything is honest and it's constructive and I can trust her. Right. And I think that's
no judgment, because that's what's hard in today's world. You feel like
right.
you can't voice your opinion at times without being judged. But having a sisterhood, it's like I can literally tell her what's on my mind, and I know she won't judge me. I mean, she might say you're crazy, but like always like from a good place.
Yeah.
But I think that's really important, because like anywhere else, I mean, goodness, I like post myself having fun on social media and then I get judged by the world. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, so here it's so nice because it's like, it makes me express myself, not hold anything in. And it's like, I don't feel bad about myself.
Yeah. You also have like, I feel like with sisters, and I saw this also, like I see this with the two of you, that you guys are like definitely each other's fierce protectors with being like somebody who will be, you know, if someone tries to say something or if somebody does something, like Christina and I definitely have that. And I feel like in high school it was like, whoa, but now it's like, it's crazy as you get older and, you know, you just like protect each other like crazy. Like you have that built-in protector. And of course, for people who like don't have a built-in blood sister and find that later with close friends, that's amazing as well. But there is something, you know, about having that bond when you're younger, and I'm sure it's even stronger as identical twins, that you have that partner to just like be there to have your back no matter what.
Yes, exactly. It's so important to have that in life. And you're so right. Like if you're not,
do you need me to let Penelope in?
No, she's okay. I'll let her.
The dog is like scratching at the door and I'm like, is she okay?
Of course she's okay.
She's gonna go pee in the house.
I know. She, but it, you know, if you don't have a sister, you can find that in a friend too, of just like that protection, because it is important to have that in life. You know, I feel so blessed. I literally thank God every day that I was born with my best friend. I mean, we're roommates. Yeah, we grew in the womb, and like
it's so true.
And I look at my daughter Birdie, who doesn't have a sister, and her and Buddy are 3.5 years apart. I don't know how the relationship will be, and I always tell her, because she gets very hung up on like best friends, right? Like 1 week is a best friend, the next week, and then when they say one thing, she gets feelings hurt. And so we have a thing now that mommy is the #1 best friend. Because I'm like, mommy will always be there for you. So then now she'll tell me like, also my second best friend. Because I want her just to know, like, these people might come in and out of your lives. I will always be there. Like, I'm your #1 best friend. Like, mommy's got your back.
Yeah. Well, and as you get older,
I'm gonna grab my dog.
Yeah. As you get older too, you just realize how much smaller your groups become.
For sure, yeah.
And that's why it's so important to have such an incredible relationship with your siblings. Because it's just, I've realized, like, I have my hardcore group of best friends, but it's just, we all said how it's just become small when you start to have kids, so much changes. So I'm so grateful to have her and be able to be a mom with her and raise my son with her and her kids. And so it's just so important and incredible to have such a good relationship.
Yeah, I mean, also just like, even I know for myself, like seeing your sister step into the role as like aunt for your children too is like a whole other layer and a whole other part of life that's so beautiful. Is like, you did, I feel the same with Christina. It's like I did so much with her when we were little, which is like why I even wrote this book, was because all the memories that I had, I don't know if you guys had this, but when I became a mom, I started like thinking of all of these moments of me being a child with my siblings, and it would make me so emotional because I would just be like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be like that little kid again. And now I have a child myself, and like my daughter is, and so I would just like I would think that way. And then I was just like, so many of those memories were shared with Christina. And now I'm able to like share those memories, and she's able to create those memories with my kids. And it's a wild and crazy thing.
It really is. It's crazy because I'll watch Birdie play and her make believe, and I'm like, whoa, that's exactly what Nicole and I did as kids. I didn't teach her that. I'm like, she's doing that on her own. And it's wild to me because I do the same. I'll just look at her and I'm like, it takes me back to us as little ones. And I'm like, she's so much like, I mean, she even will make up stories at school and the teacher will talk to me. And I used to do that. I call my mom and I'm like, whoa, that's DNA. Who would have thought?
Yeah. It really is. It's crazy. Like my parents watch my two girls together and they're like, oh my gosh, they're like a little Katherine and Christina already. It's crazy. Like the genetic part of things, like how that
it's weird
out. Yeah, it's so wild. Well, before we end, I mean, I'm so grateful that you guys even like carved out time to do this, because I know you guys scheduled so crazy. But if you could just like sum up sisterhood and the importance of sisterhood in your guys' life. I mean, I know you guys do everything together, but just like the role of that, and also what you will pass on to, I mean, you have a daughter, you could have a daughter one day, we never know. Just like when you talk to other, you know, girls or just kids in general, that relationship and that bond that you have at such a young age, what would you say about that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know,
first
is that? So
Nice.
For me, I think the importance of sisterhood is honestly, it's like living life to the fullest. It's the beautiful part of life. You have this built-in best friend and someone that you can trust with your family, with yourself, with your thoughts and your opinions. Sisterhood is just something so special because it's like having a part of you in a way. And I think that's why when people lose their sisters, they feel like a part of them leaves. It's because you kind of have a part of you, right, living this life. And I feel like it's such a happy life to have, you know, not only family, but to have this sisterhood, because no matter what, if you don't have friends or wherever you live, as long as you have a sister, life feels super full.
Yeah, you know, there's really like two words that stand out to me when I think of sisterhood, and that's unconditional love. I feel like sisterhood, unconditionally, my sister will love me no matter what. However I evolve and whatever changes I go through in life, she'll never not love me. Like I always feel her support, and I think that's what you feel in a sisterhood. You feel protection, support, but when it comes down to it, unconditional love. I mean, if I was butt naked and taped myself to a tree in a protest, she would still love me. She would be like, that's Brie. But it's them just loving you unconditionally, and that's what you get out of a sisterhood.
Yeah, and what's neat is it also, when you said that, it's like strength. It's like you have your own little, I guess especially for us, like we're our like own warriors, our own little squad, our crew. And Brie and I always talk about how we could take on the world, and like we even used to have conversation like, you know, if there was zombies, you and I would actually do really we always just talk about how we could just take on the world no matter whatever happens in life. As long as we have each other, we could protect our family and our husbands, and like we will be good to go.
Yeah.
And when you said backbone, it's true. It's like, you know, your strength, you get to be independently strong, but also you have someone you can depend on too, which is great.
I love that. I love the idea of being independently strong, but also having somebody that you can depend on. It's so true of just like, you know, the relationship that you have with your sister. And if that's a friend and you don't have a sister or a brother, whatever that is, it's, to be able to have that in life is such a huge gift. And I am so grateful that you guys shared that and just shared more about your guys' relationship, all in celebration of sisterhood. So
yes, I was
love
excited for your book.
We are so
excited on that. Yes,
I cannot wait to read it to Birdie.
I know.
Oh, well, yours is, it should be arriving any day, and it comes out on Tuesday, and I'm so excited because it's just like literally going around talking about sisterhood. So
I love it.
What a
wonderful.
beautiful thing. That is
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you girls both so much, and I will see you guys a little bit later. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.